Hello and welcome to a random forest in West Estonia. My name is Simo, I'm a photographer and currently I think an aspiring videographer, vlogger, don't know how to describe that. Anyway, I'm making these videos and since it's almost the end of 2020 and people have been asking me about what kind of cameras and lenses and other equipment do I use, I thought that before the year ends I should do a video about it. So here it is. I started off with the DJI Mavic Air drone. It's still in my camera bag from time to time when I'm going on longer trips where I don't have an option to recharge my batteries. So I have this drone with extra batteries to get those shots that I really need. However, I think it was just over a year that I used this as my main drone camera. After 1 year of using the Mavic Air, I upgraded to the DJI Mavic 2 Pro drone. I think that is basically superior to the Air in every quality except for the size. So I almost exclusively use this drone. It's with me basically every time I go out to take pictures. Usually I also use it. Sometimes when I'm in an area where I can't use it, I don't use it. But I think that I have taken a lot of my images with drones, so either one of those. So I think these are probably my most used tools. When it comes to my main camera, I use the Sony a7 III. I've used it for a little over a year now, and I think it's great. It's durable, it has perfect image quality, basically everything I could need. And for obvious reasons, I can't show the camera right now because I'm using it to film this little video. As for lenses, I mainly use 3 lenses, but actually I have 4 lenses in my camera bag. I started off with this. That's the Sony 28-70 kit lens, 3.5 to 5.6 variable aperture. And it was quite okay for me at the beginning, but quite soon I realized that this is too little for me. I need more from image quality. I need more room to play with aperture. So basically I still have it. It's in my camera bag for the zoom range, but I rarely use it, so I should get rid of it, but I just fear I won't be getting any money for it. Another lens, which was basically the second lens that I purchased for this camera, is the Samyang 18mm 2.8 lens. I actually purchased it shortly after I returned from Scotland last year, and I was so sad that I couldn't buy it before because it hadn't been launched. So, but as soon as it came out, I purchased it. I've been using it a lot for astrophotography, for long exposures, and just some interesting perspective photography. So this has seen a lot of use, and now that I've started doing vlogs, I also use this lens quite often when I want to talk into the camera. Another lens that I have that is currently underused, although in this case I am using it, is the Samyang 45mm 1.8 lens. So it's a slight alteration to the Nifty 50, but it was a bit cheaper. And actually the image quality is really good. So I have no complaints with the lens, but I just can't see myself in situations where I can use it. So that's why I haven't been using it to its full potential, but definitely it's not because of the lens, and I hope that I will be able to use it more, either for these kinds of vlogs or to start doing product photography or something of the sort. So definitely a great lens, and I use it quite often. I just don't really post the pictures I take with it. The final lens that is the latest addition to my arsenal is this Tamron 70-180 f2.8 lens. So this was released in May 2020. I had my eye out for it for quite a long time. I heard some rumors about it, so I started tracking it when it will come out and everything. Because of the recent virus, I thought that maybe it would be postponed, but it basically wasn't. So I got it. I was probably one of the first people in Estonia to actually have this lens. and I've been quite happy with it. Although I've had some focus issues with it, especially with moving objects. So in a bit trickier situations, when there are trees or other obstacles blocking the subject, but actually also in regular situations. So just today I tried to take pictures of cars moving, but the autofocus kept on focusing on everything else. And the same was with a fox that I just was taking pictures of, where the autofocus basically found objects around the fox but not the fox itself. So I'm having some focus issues with this lens. I don't know if I should probably update it, see if there are some fixes to it, but other than that, the image quality is great. I use it quite a lot, so definitely it's a great lens, but there are some issues that need to be solved, but I still continue to use it. I don't know if it's worth the money, but it's definitely cheaper than any other Sony native mount alternatives. And that is pretty much it for the cameras, except for the GoPro Hero 7 Black. I've been using it quite often, but not maybe in the original way it was intended to. I'm not a really extreme athlete, so the camera is not being used as it's originally intended, but more of a vlogging camera or a secondary camera when I need some additional footage, or just the odds and bits. So it does see some action, maybe not as much as it should, but I still use it. So I have it with me quite often because it's easy to use, and usually I don't want the hassle of taking out the camera, maybe switching the lenses and so on. So it's just easy to turn this on and start filming and put it away. So it's very convenient. Although again, this camera also has had some issues. I've had some problems with reading the SD cards. Sometimes it goes into an error. I just have to take the card out and everything's fine. The same thing is with the battery. Sometimes the battery shows that it's at 1 or 0%. When I take the battery out, it's fine again. And also the camera tends to turn off quite slowly, and quite often actually it doesn't. So I need to push the power button quite several times. So I know that nobody will probably purchase this camera anymore. It's in 2020, but in 2018, when people were buying it, I could probably have said from the get-go for people not to purchase this camera. I mean, this was my first experience with the GoPro, and I'm not loving it. I am not loving it. I hope that the 8 and the 9 are better, but the 7 is not so great. I'm not really fond of this camera, so I use it, but there are issues for me, so I would probably prefer another camera to it. When it comes to accessories, I have some cords, some extra batteries and so on, the usual stuff. I also have this ND1000 filter. It's a 58mm thread, so it only goes to my wide angle lens, so that's why you probably only see wide angle long exposure shots from me. I also have this little sturdy case for my SD cards, which houses basically 12 SD cards, but also another 12 micro SD cards. Actually, almost all of my SD cards are micro SD cards with adapters, because I have 2 drones, a GoPro, and this Sony camera. So I need to switch the SD cards quite often. The only one that takes regular SD cards is the camera. All the other ones take micro SD cards. So basically I only have a micro SD card with one exception, and I just use them interchangeably with my drones, my GoPro and my camera. I also have this little blower thingy to keep my lenses and sensors clean, and also some little wet wipes and whatnot to wipe the muck off. I also have this small light here. It's basically a cheaper alternative to LumeCube. I use it during the darker times to light paint, or just light some extra objects that I need. But it could of course see more use, and probably I need a few more lights like this, or actually even better ones, to get some proper lighting, maybe make a studio for myself at home so I wouldn't have to come out here. And then of course we can't forget the camera bag itself. It's the Rode Pro 400 AW2. So I purchased it July this year. I upgraded from my previous Manfrotto Traveler something bag, which I got for free when I purchased my Sony camera, but the zipper broke, so I had to get a new one. I searched around a little bit and I thought this would be quite a nice addition. So it's not the best option out there probably, but it works really well for me. It has a lot of space. It can fit everything I need in here, and also have room for actually another drone. So if I want to take 2 drones with me, I can fit that here, or alternatively I can fit in my jacket some snacks or something. So basically it houses everything I could need for a photography trip for at least a single day. For 2 or more days I will probably need something else for it. And there are 2 more things that I use. One is the microphone, which is a Rode VideoMic Go. There's nothing much to really say about it. I mean, it works perfectly. The sound is great. It's small, so it fits in my bag nicely. So yeah, it's a good microphone. And the tripod that I'm using is a Manfrotto Element Traveler or something. So it's a really compact tripod. You can pretty much fit it into a small backpack. And with this backpack that I currently have, I keep it on the outside. But actually the tripod is so small that I have to keep one leg extended to fit it onto the bag. And this tripod has seen a few bumps as well. Quite recently this summer it fell off a viewing platform, which was about 2-3 stories high. As a result, one of its legs bended, so I had to, pull it back as straight as I could, but it doesn't completely extend anymore. So I had to, just fix it as best I could. I have some duct tape over it to make sure that I don't unscrew this leg, otherwise the leg would just come out. I realize it's not a great thing to look at, but the tripod still works. I don't need to spend another 100 euros for a new tripod that pretty much works the same, but just maybe looks a little bit better. And that's pretty much it. My hands are freezing because it's autumn and it's cold, and I've been here for far too long doing several retakes because I'm not a natural. But despite that, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you were actually able to hear something as well, because it's been a little bit windy. And I'm a bit far away from the camera, so it's a great test for the microphone as well. I will try to do another video like this in 2021 as well. Hopefully something has changed. Maybe I will have one less drone. Maybe I will be able to sell my Mavic Air, or maybe get some new lenses, new cameras, some other equipment. So we'll have to wait and see. Currently, I am very happy with my setup. I don't see any big problems. A good indicator of that is that when there are sales, I don't go rushing to see what their offers are. I know that I pretty much have all the lenses and cameras that I could need, and I just need to keep on filming, making videos like this. Hopefully you and somebody else will watch them as well. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I don't know, there's a subscribe button here somewhere, so push that as well. That way I know that you want to see more videos from me. Keeps me motivated, and maybe I'll become a big YouTuber someday.